now that I am called the Count, because I really love to count. Sometimes I sit and count all day, but sometimes I get carried away. I count slowly, 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 getting faster. Once I start in counting, it's very hard to stop.
Hey!
Faster, faster, it is so exciting.
I love this song! Whoa! Look who it is! It is I, Brett Sieber, host of the FTFL Weekly Update, and of course, the owner of the Hulkamaniacs. And lest we not forget your king who loves to count. And boy, oh boy, the numbers of weeks are counting down. The number of teams reaching 7 are counting up. And my, oh my, there are all sorts of numbers left in between. Welcome to the FTFL Weekly Update. Week 11 is now in the books. We got one more team that has reached the magic number 7. Congrats to Mr. Deesum. Pulled it out on Monday night. He was down 31 points heading in. But the Rams defense rose to the challenge. Added Kelsey. More on that later. 5 teams counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even without my good friend Bart, I was able to handle that. 5 teams now battling basically for 2 spots. Me and Sid, both at 5 and 6, definitely control our own destiny. There are 3 teams, Eric, Andy, and Swart, who are all 4 and 7, who are right there. And if you are Eric, you started this season 3 and 0. Until, of course, the king came calling, and off with your head. And since then, you are 1 and 7. You topped the century mark for the 2nd time all season. First time since week 1. And it still wasn't enough to get it done. You need help as we wind it down. Speaking of winding it down, I kind of thought last week as I reported on the Eric Ebron trade that would be all she wrote. However, that seemingly was only one side of the story. More on that later. And lastly, not sure you were paying attention, but John's keeper this week got him a 0. That's right. Stephen Gostkowski, the anointed, the second coming, the half step below Jesus himself. 0 points. It appears that kickers aren't immune from the bye. Who knew? John, I'd like to think you knew. Then again, John, I'm still waiting. I laid it down. Make him your keeper if you believe in the madness that is your method. Speaking of madness, on to the games. Mana, 3-time Lucky Pants champ. You only sent me 93 cents, and rest assured resolutions are coming. Champ Mana coming in at 7 and 3, taking on the Radioactive Monkeys. Also at 7 and 3, Pizza Bowl. Best friends in the making. The log cabin letdown is more like this what this was. 97 for the Monkeys, 67.5 for Mana. One of the worst weeks all year for Jeff. Couldn't have come at a worse time. Now, he has reached 7 victories, so it's not as if he's fighting for his playoff life, but a first-round bye sure would be nice. Saltmarsh, Philip Lindsay, 24 points. Blew it smooth out the box. Best game all season. Antonio Brown, 18.5. Melvin Gordon, 13 points. And if I've done my math correctly, I believe that since the Melvin Gordon trade, Saltmarsh has only lost once. Somehow, some way, he's piecing it together. Now, his recent acquisition, the greatest tight end in the history of the game, Eric Ebron. Let me go ahead and just count how many points Eric Ebron had this week. That's right. I didn't have to count it all because that fool had 0 points. If you're Jeff Markser, you didn't necessarily get zeros from players, but you didn't get a whole lot. Kareem Hunt, 13.5. David Johnson, 10.5. Deshaun Watson, only 10. While Big Ben Buzzsaw Roethlisberger sat on the bench with 28 points. Wouldn't have necessarily made a difference. 3 of Markser's running backs were on a bye this week, so he was kind of forced to just start 3 as opposed to watch 6, I guess, fight over those 3 spots. So much for Battle of the Titans. This one turned out to be a bust-a-palooza. Saltmarsh moves on to 8 and 3, and now in the driver's seat for their first first round bye, and Markser with a huge game this week against Linkowitz coming up. Battle for first place in the division, and let's be honest, for a shot, if he loses that game, he can't win the division. He watches as Linkowitz marches to a first round bye. More on Linkowitz later, because now we got to talk about Ryan Deesum and his 6-4, not even close to looking youthful, titties and balls, taking on the Pack Attack, aforementioned 3-0, 1-6 coming in, 122 points. Heck of a week for Eric. However, it wasn't enough because Ryan Deesum put up 130.5. He went into Monday night down 31 points. 54-51. The Rams win this game over the Chiefs. No defense, however. 2 defensive touchdowns for the Rams. Huge night for Travis Kelce. Brandon Cooks threw in some points as well. And in the end, you have a victory for Deesum. Again, the Rams defense, 23 points. They gave up 51 in a game, and they still scored 23 points. Maybe, just maybe, you need to strongly consider keeping them from next year because, oh, by the way, that might be the new golden ticket. Travis Kelce, 19. Mark Ingram, 18. Boyd, 6. Only person in single digits in his entire starting lineup. Luck on the bench. You continue to just throw luck out the door. You continue to just let luck pass you by. Put him in. And watch everything start to come up. Millhouse, at least if you're listening to Saltmarsh, with Lord's knows I'm not. More on him later. Pack Attack, Drew Brees, you got the right quarterback this week, 34 points. Kenny Golladay, big day, 16. The Houston defense, 15. Amari Cooper, 3.5. Traquan Smith on the bench. Maybe rookie keeper. However, Kerryon Johnson on the bench. Rookie keeper. You can't keep 2 rookies. Even Bart knows that much. Traquan Smith, 21. Throw him in place for Amari Cooper, and Eric, you win. And you're tied with Sidney. Instead, you are now fighting for your playoff life with 2 other fools. The 5th could have won on the season for Eric. Those are piling up, just like the losses are piling up. But on the other side, for Linkowitz coming in at 7-3, he will move to 8-3 because he beat the Pit of Misery Dilly 104-76.5. For Linkowitz, my goodness, Tyreek Hill. I don't think there's anyone in the NFL that can cover that guy. He is liquid lightning, spilled smooth out the bottle. 35 points. Saquon Barkley tacked on 29. If I'm using my Evergrove Heights math correctly, and I'm pretty sure I am, that is 64. 64 of a 104 came from those 2 guys. Fairburn, John's replacement kicker, because Gostkowski couldn't go this week, notched him a 0. Fairburn puts up 13. Maybe Gostkowski, we got a kicker controversy? I don't know. Something we should probably watch closely going forward. If you're the Pit of Misery, Dilly, Russell Wilson, who's just a straight-out bum. We all know this, 16.5 points. Thomas with 14. 3 with 12. However, not enough in the end. He now has a 1-game lead in the North Division. And he survived a week without one of his keepers with, let's be honest, the keeper, Stephen Gostkowski. I guess up next, not entirely sure it's going to be a keeper. We may have to throw it back when it's done. But ladies and gentlemen, I shall wait no longer. I give you, Don't Be Salty.
Welcome to Don't Be Salty. I'm your host, Adam Saltmarsh, the Salties of Salts, the 8-3 radioactive monkeys. The first time that people complain about, your trade. I'm not ever going to trade with you again. Shut up in your face. Shut the face up. Why? You traded your farm. You traded the farm away to anybody that you was willing to get a pig from. And you did it. But no, you're not salty. Why should you be salty? Because the guy you traded me had a big for me. Well, I'll never trade with you again. Well, you know what? Don't be salty because you know what? You won this week. You destroyed the Hulkamaniacs. And by the way, the Hulkamaniacs, this is for you. Rogers, done. Golf, in. End of story. I get we play next week. The 2 goats. are playing head-to-head because someone's on a bye. I get it. But don't be salty, Brett. You got a 71.2 efficiency rating, the lowest of the low. Once again, Rogers 22 points, Golf 42. You still would have lost. Salty of the ness. There's not a lot of stuff going on this week. I mean, people won, people lost, close races. You know, you're trying to get to the seven win mark to make the playoffs. A lot of battles of people like, oh, I might be out, I might be in. Well, Mr. Pack Attack, you're lucky DSM doesn't listen to me. Because I keep on telling him, why, if you have luck, why don't you play the luck? Luck is on your side. Luck be the lady tonight. But he didn't need that. Because he had the Monday Night Football game. And he had the Rams, who destroyed your Pack Attack butt up and down. Destroyed. Because I don't know what's going on, but finally you're listening to me. You started Breeze over Rivers. Thank you. At least someone's listening to me instead of you. Yeah, that's right. You're listening to me. So anyways, Pack Attack, once again, bro, I don't know what's going on this year. Don't be salty. Our last of our lasts. He wanted some sexual favors. Quote. Yeah, go ahead and salt me. Like, what kind of sexual favor is that? Mr. Manahana. Sorry, bro. You said you're going to win. You said you're going to destroy the Salt Man. You said you're going to take the monkeys and put them in a cage. You didn't. All your famous running backs, all your wide receivers showed up and gave you nothing. Nothing. For that, don't be salty, bro. But now, to the coach's hotline. Have you ever struggled on who to start in your fantasy football league? Have you ever wondered how the people keep on winning after week after week? Because they call the fantasy football hotline. Look, I got a call now. Coach Saltmarsh, how can I help you? Coach Saltmarsh, I really need your help. I'm losing week to week. I don't know what to do. I even turned into the FTFL weekly update. This great Marcini said, hey, this is who I should start. He looked in his crystal ball. You did what? You listened to a guy with a crystal ball? I mean, all my friends say this is just dumb luck. I mean, they just say it's dumb luck. I don't know. I just want to win. This game is not about luck. It's not about seeing it in a crystal ball. I tell you what, you have to play the numbers, my friend. You have to play the numbers. So if it's about the numbers, if some guy's scoring 10 points, don't start him. But if he's scoring, some other guy scoring 15 in the same position, start the guy with 15 points? I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to grab an ice cold iced tea and you're going to sit on the couch and just watch your season get destroyed by everybody else.
That was a doozy. I got a few things I jotted down throughout this. I can't help but feel that there's a little bit of a tug of war going on here now, and I kind of feel like maybe it's slightly being attacked. However, trade complaints. If we're going to get into trade complaints, let's be honest. It was just a week or two ago on the Don't Be Salty segment. There were complaints about nobody trading. And now you're turning around and complaining about trade. I don't know where you sit on the trade fence. I'm not entirely sure. Pack Attack was lucky that DSM didn't start luck. He still lost. He still lost. I'm not entirely sure where we're going with this. Talking about someone's butt being destroyed up and down, that just seems strange. That was an odd choice of words. And then also, of course, comparing being salted to favors. A lot of odd tension this weekend. You said there wasn't a lot of action this week. Maybe that was just you parlayed that from real life. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. As you kind of continue the press on Adam Swart and the Ebron trade, we've only gotten your side until now because I have an official statement right here from Pump, the demonic love child of Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. It reads as follows. In regards to the Eric Ebron trade with the Radioactive Monkeys, on Wednesday, November 7th, the Radioactive Monkeys sent a trade offer of Jesse James and a 6th round pick for Ebron and a 9th. As is our normal trade protocol, we proposed a reasonable counteroffer with Ebron and a 9th for Jesse James and a 5th round pick. Also, we offered Greg Olsen an 11th for Jesse James and a 4th round pick as we felt Greg Olsen is a more solid tight end. Giggity. The Monkeys then started proposing ridiculous trade offers where they wanted more for less. We were also even getting offers in which the Radioactive Monkeys were attempting to sneak a 1st round pick into the trade offers. For proof of the trade shenanigans that the Monkeys tried to pull, check out the transactions page on the website. That will tell you the whole story. And that is why Pump will never trade with the Radioactive Monkeys. Not because Ebron had a career game. Ebron would not have started for Team Pump, as we feel that Greg Olsen is a better tight end. And for this, we say, salty, don't be salty. Also, for Pump merchandise, please check out pumpmerch.com. Use the coupon code PUMPSTUFF for 5% off purchases of $1,000 or more. That sounds like a deal Saltmarsh would be all over. I'd like to think that over is what the Ebron trade talk is. However, this feels like there's maybe still some unfinished business. Speaking of unfinished business and Pump, they were taking on the Hulkamaniacs. Of course, Pump 3-7, Hulkamaniacs 5-5. Coming into this, the Hulkamaniacs, we desperately needed this game. But boy, oh boy, you couldn't tell it one iota for the effort that came forth. 58 for the Hulkamaniacs to 116.5. I got doubled in half. Doubled smooth up. Just destroyed. Pump T.Y. Hilton. Are you kidding me? 30.5 points. That was almost 6 times his season average. Almost 6 times his season average. He blows it out for 30.5. Well, that's just dandy. Cam Newton added 24. Aaron Jones, man, has he been a stud. Mike McCarthy, give him the ball. 20.5 points. Brown on the bench with only a half point. It really didn't matter. For me, Aaron Rodgers, 22. Chris Carson, 10. Todd Gurley, single digits, 7.5 points. Only time all season that has happened. How did the Rams score 54 points and not a single one came from Todd Gurley? Now, I did read today that he had a slight ankle injury. I did watch him get rolled up on the sideline. I was nervous. He did keep playing. Hopefully, just an anomaly. Then again, if the rest of my team keeps this up, and by the way, every one of my starters was 6 points or below, it's not going to matter how Todd Gurley played. It's not going to matter how Aaron Rodgers plays, or if, by chance, I'm playing Jared Goff, who, yes, did have 42 points on the bench this week. I said it last week, and I will repeat it this week. You are not going to see Jared Goff start over Aaron Rodgers. We are going down with Aaron Rodgers as our captain if that's how it has to be. We are not playing Jared Goff. Of course, that cost me 5 and 6. I am in control of my own destiny, but boy, oh boy, things are not looking good. Speaking of not looking good, the Architect coming in at 3 and 7, taking on the King of the North, who is desperate to get a win, and he did. 131.5 to 83.5, an absolute drubbing. Patrick Pattycakes Mahomes, 48 points. Holy cow! I think in the history of our league, we've only seen 1 or 2 50-point performances. He got this close. Throwing Stephon Diggs 20.5. Throwing Keenan Allen 16.5, and the Bears defense 13. Now Trey Burton only had half a point. He was the only one under 6. And again, that's just me bringing it up for no other purpose as to tell you that not everyone on his team did great. However, it didn't matter what Trey Burton did because his team around him lifted him up. Ezekiel Elliott for the Architect, 21.5. Devontae Adams, 15. And Jordan Reed, best game of the season, 13.5. Welcome back, Jordan Reed. Javorius Allen in the starting lineup. Dropped Albert Wilson after picking up Albert Wilson, who was on the IR. Solved that problem by picking up the second, if not third, Lamar Jackson starting 4th string running back for the Ravens. Surprise, surprise, he played 1 snap all game. 0 points. It's the gift that keeps on giving, folks. Speaking of giving, I'm going to be giving up on the show here real quick, at least for week 11, because it's time for the stud, the dub, and the decent. Stud of the week, you can't get much better than Patty Mahomes at 48. However, Deesum's Rams, 23 points on Monday Night Football when he needed them the most. They showed up. They delivered. Aaron Donald. Oh my gosh, this man-child. You are co-studs of the week. Dud. Amari Cooper, 3.5 when your team needed you. You let them down. James Conner, only 5 points. Marks has been riding the James. Now, I don't know about up and down and thrashing a butt or anything, but up and down. Just riding James Conner. And he has been an absolute dream ride until this week. 5 points. Marks' team collapses around him. He loses, fails to hold on to first place. Has a chance against Linkowitz coming up. More on that in a moment. Decent award. Eric makes his way to 5 could-have wins on the season. What might have been for young, actually old Eric. And speaking of Eric, after his loss last night, so angry, throwing stuff around the living room, kicking pillows, kicked the couch, blew his knee, smooth out, goes under the knife tomorrow morning. Good luck, Eric, with that. We hope that you recover quickly and get back to your losing ways. Yes, I suppose just to appease the salt march. You know, actually, speaking of salt, I'm pretty much done with salt. Here's what I think of salt. Right here, folks. We're done with that. Yeah. I didn't start Aaron Rodgers. I didn't start Jared Goff. I still would have gotten crushed. However, I guess it's kind of a building story, so I'll mention it. And lest I not mention, but I will, John Linkowitz kept a kicker. Now, he is 8-3. He is on an inside track for a first-round bye, and I'm almost guaranteeing you that John Linkowitz will win the entire thing this year and will be the only recipient in a single season of not only the championship trophy, but also the Decent Award. I'm not entirely sure even a championship can outrun this one, John. I guess you're out to prove us wrong. On to next week. 2 weeks left in this odyssey that is the 2018 season. And boy, we got some good ones. Mana, 3-time Lucky Pants, looking for a victory desperately like those 7 cents you owe me and the couch cushions, hoping to pull it out. Mana at 7-4, taking on Team Linkowitz 8-3, first place in the NFC, in the North, on the line. Ryan Deesum and his super crusty, 3 times warmed over leftovers from Thanksgiving that no one wants, titties and balls, at 7-4, taking on the Pack Attack, who, if they're gonna lose, they might just be out of the playoffs for good. At 4-7, a rematch of this past week. The Monkeys at 8-3, taking on the Hulkamaniacs at 5-6. Well. Play the numbers, he said. It's not luck, he said. I hope you got a little bit of both this week, because let me tell you what, next week will be all about the Hulkamaniacs if we pull out the win in this one. King of the North 5-6, taking on the Architect at 3-8. Another rematch from last week, and then Pump at 4-7, taking on the Pit of Misery at 4-7. The Elimination Bowl, if you will. Gotta believe the loser of this one is out. The winner stays in. Until then, I guess we will be signing off this week. I will say to all of you, have a happy Thanksgiving. It is one of my all-time favorite holidays, and absolutely one of the things I am thankful for is being in this league, because it provides me entertainment, it provides me fellowship, and it provides me an opportunity to sit down and, I guess, talk to a camera and hope, just maybe, that someone is watching. For now, we're going to wait on the technology to boot it up. This is Brett, the FTFL Weekly Update. We'll see you next time. Peace!
Hey, it's your good old friend Bart now. We are 1 day away from Thanksgiving, and I'm out here looking for a turkey for the meal, and I found 2. I apologize, I'm not very camera friendly. I took a stick to the eye on my way out here, but I've tracked them, and they're right over there. Shh, I'm gonna go get me some bird. Ah!